Let's focus on Fields, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's focus on Fields.
Yeah.
My first thought when I saw Mac Jones for a 6th-round pick is the Bears aren't going to get anything significant for Fields. They're not going to get a 2nd-round pick for Fields.
No, they're not.
They're not going to get a 3 next year that can become a 2. They're not going to get a great trade package for Justin Fields because, number one, there's no team out there that is an obvious destination, to your point. And 2, if you need a veteran, you don't have to trade for him. If you trade for Justin Fields, you're giving something up where you can sign one of these other guys, and Justin Fields is going to want to get paid. You got 1 year left of his rookie contract before the $25 million 5th-year option, and he's going to want his contract. When's he going to want it? Does he want it on his way through the door? I don't know, but that's part of it.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason why, even though it's been obvious for 2 weeks now, the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams and move on from Justin Fields. I've become fascinated by when the Bears pull the trigger, because there may be no trigger to pull this week as the other seats fill up and there's no destination for Justin Fields until at the earliest after round 1 of the draft, if one of the teams that's looking for a guy, planning to get a guy, doesn't get the guy they want, and their fallback is Justin Fields.
Right. No, or I mean, we still sit here and I look at Atlanta and go there. But I think like the point you make too, right, is the value of Justin Fields and the trade, right? It's going to be better than it was for Mac Jones, but it's not going to be significantly better. It's not. I mean, you spit it out with 1 and 2 points, and here's a third point. How about the Bears don't want him and he doesn't want the Bears, right? That ruins it. The value there, just alone with that comment right there, brings his value down. So wait, you think again, Atlanta, if they're the only team out there, they're like, oh yeah, we'll give you a first, we'll give you a second, even though we know you don't want him and he doesn't want to be there, right? Oh yeah, okay, you're gonna bring him and Caleb Williams and have them in the same locker room. Good luck with that, guys. I mean, that's how you will totally ruin your organization, Chicago. So everybody knows it's inevitable. And that hurts the value too. So, yeah, and that's where we'll see if Atlanta kind of makes a move here. Atlanta might get to a point where they go, damn, we'll trade for Justin Fields. It didn't cost that much to get him. And they still might be evaluating quarterbacks to come out in the draft because of what you said. Wait, we only have this guy for 1 year. We got to figure it out. Right? We only gave away a 4th-round pick here, so we can take a quarterback if we wanted with our 1st-round pick or dabble with other ways or scenarios we could get a quarterback, certainly. But we'll see where it goes. But, yeah, I don't think they're getting anything big time for Justin Fields.
It occurred to me yesterday that, and look, at the end of the day, I understand that you're going to have issues in the locker room, and if they don't want Fields and Fields doesn't want them, but plenty of teams over the years have just said, hey, man, this is the way it's going to be.
Right.
We have your contractual rights through 2024. Your money is guaranteed. If you want to get yourself suspended for conduct detrimental to the team because you don't want to be here and you fail to show up for this or fail to show up for that, or you're just difficult because you don't want to be here, then we have ways of dealing with that. And for the player, he deals with it once. The team deals with it over and over again over the years. With all those guys that come and go, they know how to deal with their personnel. So it occurred to me yesterday, okay, if there's nothing cooking now, and there clearly isn't, and then nothing happens this week as the other veteran free agent quarterbacks sign and the dust settles there.
Right.
And if nothing happens in round 1 of the draft that causes a team to say, we'll give you what you want for Justin Fields, now that you have Caleb Williams, why not just hold on to him, Chris? Hear me out. Why not hold on to him? Because at some point between the end of April and if Andrew Berry and the Browns get their way and the trade deadline moves from the Tuesday after Week 8 until the Tuesday after Week 10, somebody has a serious injury to a quarterback. Somebody picks up the phone, right? Last year, look at the mad dash to find quarterbacks. Where are we going to find quarterbacks? Hey, we got Justin Fields. We got it. But just like when the Eagles had Sam Bradford ready to go in 2016, when Teddy Bridgewater's knee implodes in a walkthrough practice late in the preseason. Here's Sam Bradford, 1 and a 4. They did a heist for a 1 and a 4 and pivoted to Carson Wentz. So you just hold on to Justin Fields until somebody needs him. And if nobody needs him, then the season ends and he walks away as a free agent. You get your compensatory draft pick on the back end.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hear you. It's been done before, right? But to your point too, right? I mean, one, okay, I think the NFL community still has questions about Justin Fields. The Bears do, right? Right. The Bears explained that to us. They said it to the whole world. We want somebody that's better in 2-minute situations than in the game situations. It was an indictment on Justin Fields in an indirect way. That's what it was. I think there's a lot of people in football that have that too, have those same questions. They're not sure, right? I mean, yeah, you could get desperate. You could get lucky and get that guy at the trade deadline and get desperate and do all of that, right? But you could also, the other aspect is like we're going to invest in the number 1 pick of the draft with a guy that still has leadership qualities and a pretty strong presence himself, and he's going to be in the locker room, and our best player on our offense wants him to be the quarterback over the guy that we've just made the biggest investment in to be the first pick of the draft. Those, to me, are just – that's opening up more can of worms than it's worth. And for a guy like Eberflus and Ryan Poles, I just go – yeah, you could do what Mike Florio does, and you might get a good draft pick, or you could or it could go the other way and do what Mike Florio does, and you totally just screw up your locker room and your football team, and the fan base is going start Justin Fields, sit Caleb Williams, start Caleb Williams, sit Justin Fields, and then you know what's going to happen? Eberflus and Ryan Poles, you'll be sitting somewhere else other than a desk in Chicago the next year because you're going to get fired because it's going to be a crap show. And that's where I think there's just too much risk there for my liking. If I was in the position to call those shots in Chicago, I wouldn't want to mess with that.
3 years ago, the Vikings were eyeing Justin Fields, and the Bears traded up in front of the Vikings, cut the line. We didn't find out if the Vikings took Justin Fields, and I mention all that because as the Vikings look for plan B, wouldn't that be something if we get a Drew Bledsoe-style Patriots to the Bills trade when the Vikings have nowhere else to go and Fields stays in the division and ends up in Minnesota? It's not an impossibility at this point because there really isn't a clear option for Justin Fields if Atlanta doesn't come through. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.